Namaste, May 23rd, 1914, and we see the series of experiences that the Mother is again and again revealing to us, sharing with us. Now, when we read these experiences, it makes us ready one day when the grace descends to have something, some trickle of this state. So she begins the prayer by addressing the Lord. Several places we see she is saying, "O Lord." So who is the Lord? We have seen earlier. She is both the Lord or the Shakti of the Lord, if you want to put it more, as well as she is the earth that aspires. So we can say to her own highest self. That's how Sri Aurobindo, once remarked when somebody asked, "Who is the Mother praying to?" He said she is praying in identification with the earth consciousness to her own highest self. And he says these kinds of prayers have been documented in scriptures. Of course, we know about Ramayana, about the Mahabharata, where these kind of prayers are there. But how beautiful. Several times, Mother says she would just say, "O Lord." This was her mantra. One of her mantra was, "Lord, God of kindness and mercy." Because she knew that, this is what human beings need. And she would say this several times, that she has three poises, ways of being. She says in her highest way of being, there is absolutely no error, nothing. It's like a complete, unconditional downpouring of grace and love, regardless of anything. It annuls everything, all the moment. That's the highest way of being. But then she says, when she takes a poise a little below for the sake of the work, then all this comes in. In the prayers also it is like this. So different ladder, up and down the ladder of consciousness, up and down the ladder of divine self-manifestation. All these she is experiencing. That's why when Dilip Kumar Roy asked Sri Aurobindo, that when he had put the question to Raman Maharishi, that Sri Aurobindo speaks of descent of supermind. So he said, God is everywhere. Where does he have to descend from? And just imagine with these experiences, and what a childish question these things must have been when somebody asked. He says, "This is what do you have to say about it?" He said, "Of course, divine is everywhere, but there are different degrees of his self-manifestation on different planes of consciousness." So, it was such a clarity with just one sentence. "Oh Lord." She used to say that very often. She would just say, "Lord," and it was her way of connecting. "O Lord, thou of whom I would be constantly conscious, and whom I would realize in the smallest cells of my being." People speak about Sri Aurobindo and the Mother's experiences. At least I may not have read everything, but fair amount of literature. I'll be happy if somebody can show one such experience where in every cell one is realizing the divine being. We are not even conscious of the cells. And here she is speaking of constantly conscious. Someone was telling me that, that person once on her birthday asked the Mother, "Make me constantly conscious of thee." And the Mother saw it. She underlined the word constantly. She said, "Yes, constantly conscious, constantly conscious." And constantly conscious, even in the smallest cell, this is something we can only conceive. "Thou, whom I would know as myself and see manifested in all things." That's why she says, "I am you, I am with you because I am you." She's become all of us. This is the truth she has realized, and we have to realize its counterpart. "Thou whom I would know as myself and see manifested in all things." Again, beyond the manifestation, in the manifestation, and in each individual unit of existence. Thou who art the sole reality, the sole cause and aim of existence, grant that my love for thee may grow ever greater, so that I may be all love. Now, someone who has realized identity, what is the need of love? Because love is meant to help us realize identity. And then it's over. After you join one more step, that is also there in one of our prayer. Those who have completely identified their consciousness, then there is no more love in the sense we understand. So, what is this love she is speaking of? So, here comes something very beautiful. First, she is addressing the Lord as who are the sole reality, the sole cause and aim of existence. So different from the conceptions of the divine, religious conceptions. Grant that my love for thee may grow ever greater, so that I may be all love, thy love itself, and that being thy love, I may unite integrally with thee. Now she wants, because all is herself. So, that line in Savitri, a lonely freedom cannot satisfy my heart that has grown one with every heart. My spirit's liberty I ask for all. So she has become like all love in every creature, in every form. And that we see in Savitri, that experience, realization, where she sees the blooming of the rose. And people sometimes discuss such inanities like, how could Sri Aurobindo have tear in his eyes and things like that. They are all love and that's not human sentimental love. That is not attachment, that is deep compassion, divine identification with everything, so that everything can be uplifted and taken. The same illusion that had overtaken this Sati, Avidyamai, that state, or Kakbhushundi. Is it really divine? So, those who want to leave existence, yes, love has fulfilled its purpose. Because love needs the other. But when the other is no more there, love is there still as the impersonal truth of being. It's the origin is there, no? So she says, why she wants that my love for thee may grow ever greater, so that I may be all love, thy love itself, and that being thy love, I may unite integrally with this. Now, look at how it is climbing. May this love grow more and more intense. There's so much power in these words. May this love grow more and more intense, complete, luminous, powerful. May this love become an irresistible urge towards thee. Love alone can have irresistible urge. Nothing else. It's like a magnet, nothing. It brooks no obstacles. The invincible means of manifesting thee. Because once the bridge of love is built, then the divine pours. All other is technical way. Nishkam karma. Then that's why in the Gita, and Shri Krishna speaks about love. First he says you learn to dissociate yourself from the surface outer consciousness, become a witness, turn your buddhi in within and above. So Arjuna says, fine, then how do I work and why should I work? Then he gives the steps. You work for the Lok Sangraharth. And he gives him nice ways, Nishkam karma, do work as an offering. Then he says, now I'll give you the secret, and the secret is love. Mother has used the word, the great secret, for this. This is the great secret. So she says, may this love grow more and more intense, complete, luminous, powerful. May this love become an irresistible urge towards thee. The invincible means of manifesting thee. Means love in the manifestation, pouring upon all creatures. This is the means of unlocking doors, opening, uplifting, transforming everything to become a vehicle and instrument of this love. May everything in this being become pure, profound, disinterested, divine love. See now how it is climbing step by step. It's moving toward the impersonal love which is there in creation. It says, may it become pure, because mixtures, what we know as love. Though there is a grain of love in everything, but it's so terribly mixed, sometimes with things which are too terrible. What is that line in Savitri where he says, even though debased and disfigured, it is still the power with which all can change. Love is a glory from eternity spheres. It is still the power with which all can change. Though it is disfigured and debased by powers that steal its name, and yet it is that love is man's lien on the absolute. To live, to love are sign of infinite things. And there are people who believe it is sentiment, because they know only sentiment. They don't know love. Can't, if we know only sentiments, then we think that is what love is about. So, here she reveals to us the secret, the great secret. Pure, profound, disinterested divine love. From the unfathomable depths to the outermost substance. If this door of love can be opened, the entire being can begin to change. It softens, makes everything plastic, full of beatitude and joy. This is anyways it does it. Softens everything. Wherever you see hardness and its extreme cruelty, which is the opposite of love. Opposite of love is not hate. Hate is the other side of love. But cruelty. That's how Shiva puts it. This world was built by cruelty so that love may manifest. So cruelty is the opposite side. But it softens. It has this power to soften the heart, soften the being, soften the ego. And if it becomes intense, it can really dissolve it. When a person is in love, at least momentarily the boundaries of ego dissolve. But then, yes, everything comes back. Like Jarasandh's two parts of the body. So this is how. But love doesn't tear. Love refines and changes from within. That's how Mother says love does not destroy to divinize. Power of purification does that. Love transforms and divinizes. That is the difference. So she wants to become that love. May the God with form who manifests in this aggregate be entirely molded from thy complete and sublime love. So this form in which divine is manifesting, that must be completely molded by the sublime love. The love which is at once the source and the realization of all knowledge. That's why when death tells Savitri, know also, knowing thou would cease to love. And Savitri replies, when I have loved all, then I shall know, for knowledge is a vast, immense embrace. Love is about oneness. Knowledge is about oneness. And love is the fastest means to take us towards oneness. So she says, the love which is at once the source and the realization of all knowledge. May thought be clarified, organized, enlightened, transformed by thy love. It is a marvelous prayer. Look at it. May thought be clarified, organized, enlightened, transformed by thy love. May all the life forces solely impregnated by thy love and moulded from it, draw from it irresistible purity and constant energy, power and rectitude. All the energies of life, the panch pran, or as many pran you want to put it, in all directions, in every cell, atom, life energy is everywhere. May all of it be molded, driven by the power of the divine love. May this weakened intermediary being, Weakened intermediary being is the body which is to serve the intermediary between the divine and the outer world. But see how she is using this is something which is completely awesome. See what she is going to say now. Something which we would have never imagined in our frame. Because she is using the word weakened. May this weakened intermediary being take advantage of its weakness to reconstitute itself with elements entirely molded from thy love. How beautiful. People who believe they have realized, experienced, yogis, they become very hard. They cannot be molded. You see, when Sri Aurobindo spoke of, when someone said, I wish you were disciples like Swami Vivekananda. He says, well, first of all, it's very doubtful whether they would agree. And if they agree, the ordinary humanity will not show up. So this weakness which remains, there is some bit of weakness which remains for a long time. It softens us, fills us with humility, brings plasticity, takes away all arrogance, spiritual pride, spiritual ego, which all this can develop. So divine says, wait, look, something is there. But then this brings in that state of aspiration for change. Because that is like the last point which will hold on till the being is entirely molded. So how she is putting it like a judo master. Take advantage of its weakness, because those who have no weakness are like, some people, somebody said, Sri Aurobindo, he is a Siddha Purush, he wants to be in the ashram. Sri Aurobindo says, why does he want to be in the ashram? He is already Siddh. It was done with a sense of humor. He took a dig that if you are already Siddh, who is already perfected? This feeling can come, I have realized, I had this wonderful experience. So, when we look at our nature and we discover something or the other like a weakness, it's a beautiful opportunity to say, this is a whole world, not just a little disorder in oneself, but a whole world. And take this as a means to offer oneself more and more. May this weakened intermediary being take advantage of its weakness to reconstitute itself with elements entirely molded from thy love. And may this body, now a burning brazier, radiate thy divine, impersonal, sublime and calm love from every pore. रोम में भगवान का बस जाना. In every pore, the divine love oozing out, radiating all around. Becomes a yajna-vedi. We have heard about yajna, na? People do all kinds of home yajna. To turn your body into such a yajna-vedi where the divine love is beginning to manifest in every pore. And she is saying, divine, impersonal, sublime and calm love. That's why he said people who start jumping, dancing, all kinds of, She says that's normally vital excitement. We think that is love for the divine. Ask any of them, would you give yourself to the divine? Means give even your pehchan, your chap. I am this so and so. Consent to be nothing? I am something. How can I consent to be nothing? So all this dancing, jumping, this is not a sign of bhakti. It's a sign of a vital weakness. Of course, tears can flow in calm beatitude when one is turned toward the divine. That's a different thing. And this whole passage in Collected Works of the Mother, Volume 3, I think we read it in Srimaka Yoga. That, this idea of vital excitement, jumping, and even today, you see all this projected on television and people think that is bhakti. Bhakti, you just give yourself. There is none of this kind of external expression of this kind. That bhakti manifests in service of the divine everywhere and in everything. So she uses the word divine, impersonal, sublime, beyond the reach of ordinary humanity, and calm love from every pore. May the brain be reconstituted by thy love. This part, I love it. It used to be for quite some time, my brain constituted by thy love. This is easy to understand and comprehend and aspire for. May the brain be reconstituted by thy love. Lastly, may thy love overflow, flood, penetrate, transfigure, regenerate, animate all things with the power, the splendour, the sweetness and force which are its very own. Love brings with it power, splendor, force, the power to rejuvenate, the power to heal, the power to transfigure. Everything it can do. It can bridge the abyss, which is the cause of sorrow, suffering, and want, sense of dissatisfaction, unhappiness, the origin of desire. This all comes from the abyss, hunger that is death, as the Upanishad says. Only and only power that can bridge it is love. It can enter into the abyss and make it feel complete and full. Nothing else can do. In thy love is peace. In thy love is joy. In thy love is thy servitor's sovereign lever of work. So when people ask, why do you work or why do you want to serve? So some people use the word, I am doing karma yoga. I have always found it too pretentious. I am doing karma yoga. Yoga sounds very great, no? Because you love the mother, you want to serve her in whatever way. Wherever she sends you, in whatever way you want to serve her, in everything, including your everyday human relation, world activity. So she says, in thy love is peace, in thy love is joy, in thy love is thy servitor's sovereign lever of work. He who loves will never seek escape from the world, because the divine is laboring here. That's why it's called a labor of love. How can we escape as long as even a grain of sand remains not yet filled with the divine splendor? Thy love is vaster than the universe and more lasting than all the ages. Even pralaya can come and go, that love will remain. More lasting than all the ages. It's vaster than the universe. It is infinite, eternal. There is no end to the divine's love pouring upon creation. It is our hands that are small. It is the eternal truth. And this is something which everybody realizes. You feel the touch of divine love, you go here, there. Then you suddenly discover, oh, divine is always waiting for you. She never leaves you. Her love is the eternal reality. Thy love is vaster than the universe and more lasting than all the ages. It is infinite, eternal. It is thyself. Thyself. That's why Sri Aurobindo says in the Synthesis of Yoga at the end, the mystery of divine love. The mystery of love. At the end he says, there is nothing which is denied or impossible to the God lover, for he is the very self of the beloved. Nowhere he uses the word, he is the very self. He is love. So she says, thy love is vaster than the universe and more lasting than all the ages. It is infinite, eternal, it is thyself. And it is thyself I want to be. And that I am. For such is thy law, such is thy will. Here also. Not because of any, I want to do yoga. Such is your will. Such is thy law for this creation, that we should become one with the divine and become the bridge between what is manifested and what is yet to manifest, and to become channels for the outpourings of the divine love in the heart, brain, life, body, breath, and every pore.